Well, hi, it is 1 o'clock. Actually, it's 1:02 on Wednesday, May 6th. It's Wednesday, May 6th. I'm Sarah, your friendly neighborhood prevention specialist. Today, we are going to be doing week three. That was a four. We're doing week 3 of resiliency. This is meant for kiddos in 6th to 8th grade. If you have a student that's a little older or a little younger that you think would do well with this, parents or educators, feel free to share it with them as well. I do want to let you know that this is my last week doing this online series of classes. I don't know if we will do another series in the future. I don't know. But, as the school year would be winding down and things, then I'm winding down this series. I have had such a good time with you guys. I've really, really enjoyed being able to talk to 6th to 8th grade. Middle school is an interesting time in everybody's life. And I find middle schoolers to be just genuine and funny and bright and sometimes just downright hysterical. They're lots of fun. So I've had a really good time with you guys. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you want to share something with me that you've learned during all of these weeks that we've been learning online, I would love to hear it. You can put it in the comments below, or you can email me, Sarah, S-A-R-A, and the letter O, at G as in great, H as in ha ha ha, beyondsurvival.com. So that's Sarah O at GHbeyondsurvival.com. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. Today, we are doing our last in our resiliency series. That's why I held this up for you. You've got this. You've got this. You're doing so great. So in the last two, we talked about what does it mean to be resilient. We went through times that were tough, talked about those a little bit. And today we're going to kind of put together a resiliency plan that has to do with the people that are in your life. So, excuse me, pardon me, I have seasonal allergies. And lately, they've been kind of bad. So bear with me. All right. So I'm going to grab my notes because I don't want to miss anything. Just to kind of recap, resiliency is the ability to cope with whatever life throws at you. You bounce back stronger and more steadfast than before. It doesn't mean that things are not difficult. It doesn't mean that that it's not hard. It doesn't take anything away from the experience and what it is. And it doesn't mean that you can't grieve when you go through certain difficult experiences. What resiliency means is that you are able to come out on the other side with some knowledge, knowing that you are strong and that you are capable. Because you're all super strong and capable. You're all amazing. So resilient people, they work through life's challenges using personal resources. This includes social support, coping strategies, solution seeking. So this exercise is to kind of build your personal resilience plan and that you can use for any future challenges. So right now, we're all in a challenge right now of COVID-19. What has it meant for us? It meant that most of our schools have shut down for the rest of the year. It means that we can't go see friends, maybe grandparents. It's been really challenging. It's been challenging for everybody. And I want you to know that you've been doing an amazing job. You've been doing really, really well with all of this. And I hope that you remind yourself of that every day, that you're doing really well. And if you have a day where you didn't cope that well, okay. All right. We're all allowed to be frustrated. We're all allowed to be sad and mad. We're not allowed to camp out there, but we're all allowed to have those feelings. So you didn't have the best day. Okay. All right. Tomorrow's another day. That's what resilience is. Okay, so I didn't put a Google Classroom up for this today because you can do this on a blank sheet of paper. If you would like these things typed out for you and to have kind of a worksheet to work off of, I can definitely do that. All you have to do is let me know, either in the comments or in an email. Okay, so step one, recall a recent example of resilience. So think about a time recently when you overcame a challenge or setback in your life. Perhaps you injured yourself, you got some negative feedback at school, like you failed a test or something, you had an argument with a friend or family member. So I want you to describe this briefly. Describe the difficulty. Just write it on a blank sheet of paper what this was. If you need to go back and watch this video after after we're done being live and you need to pause it, that's okay. Do that. So the second step is identify supportive people. What supportive people in your life kept you standing when it would have been easier to fall down? For instance, did you call an old friend? Did you ask a teacher for advice? Perhaps a parent or grandparent gave you a pep talk. So write down who you called for support, who you called on. And we've talked before about like our 4 trusted adults. It could be any one of those people. It could be any one of those 4 people. But who do you talk to? Who do you turn to when you're having a hard time? Is it a mom, a dad, an aunt and uncle, a grandparent, a cousin? Is it a friend? Is it a friend of the family? Sometimes it's not always somebody in our family. We have these support systems, and it could be somebody that you go to school with or a school counselor. It could be an advocate. There's all kinds of people. So who did you talk to when? So the first thing was recall an example of resilience. So the second thing is, who did you talk to? And start identifying who those supportive people are in your life. Who are the people that you can always talk to that are going to be supportive, that are going to give you good advice? Maybe they're not always the people that tell you what you want to hear, but maybe they're the people who tell you what you need to hear. Those people are really important, and it's tough. It's tough to have those conversations. So number 3, identify strategies. All right, what does that mean? What strategies did you use to help yourself cope with any negative thoughts and feelings that showed up in response to the difficulty? So, for example, did you meditate? Did you exercise? Did you write in a journal? Did you go for a walk? Listen to a particular song or type of music? There's loads doing art, riding our bikes. There's loads and loads of things that we can do to cope. Write down the strategies that you've used to help you cope. And you might not have even really given it much thought as to that these are strategies. So for example, if you are having a really bad day and you sit down and play video games for an hour or two to kind of get your mind off it, do you turn on a TV show or a movie that you really love? Do you listen to music? Do you pop those earbuds in and just tune out the world? Those are strategies. Those are coping strategies. Now, we want to employ only healthy coping strategies. There are coping strategies that we know of that are unhealthy, such as drugs, alcohol, cutting, eating disorders. Those are all coping strategies that people have used that are not healthy. So we want to be able to really employ these healthy coping strategies like art and music and exercise. And it doesn't even have to be like crazy exercise, like working out for hours. It could be taking a walk. It could be going for a jog. It could be riding your bike. It could be walking your dog. You can probably hear my dogs. They're in the backyard right now telling the whole neighborhood. That's what they do. So write down some of these healthy coping strategies. And if there's one that you maybe have not employed yet, if you've not used that yet, but you think it might be good for you or you want to give it a try, write it down. Write it down. Okay. So sagacity is what it's spelled like Saga City, Sagacity. And what it means is the wisdom and insight that we hold on to. So sagacity, it's the wisdom and insight that we hold on to that, it, like that, oh, that was a really smart thing to hear. Or I love that saying. I love that lyric in a song. It can come from song lyrics, poetry, spiritual writings, quotes from famous people, quotes from your family, or from your own learning experience. So I want you to write down some things, some quotes, or some lyrics, or something that you've heard from a family member that that you hold on to, this wisdom that you hold on to. So that's step 4. I still can't believe I put 4 up earlier when I meant 3. That was funny. That's what happens when you go live. Okay, step 5. Identify solution-seeking behaviors. So a solution-seeking behavior, did you display, what did you display to help you actively deal with the problem? So for example, did you seek out new information? Did you put together a plan or negotiate or speak up and voice your opinion? Did you ask others for help? Write down the solution-seeking behaviors that you displayed when you had this difficult thing that we wrote down. That was the first thing we wrote down, was this recent difficult thing that you went through, whatever that may be. And what solutions did you talk to a friend? Did you ask advice? Did you Google something? Did you, what did you do? So now this is where we're going to come up with our plan, our resiliency plan. And this is something that you can carry through your whole life, and you can change it as you need to so that you are living your healthiest, best life. Okay. So now I want you to write down a current difficulty or challenge that you're facing. Like if you injured yourself, or not being able to go to school until fall, not being able to see a certain family member or friends for a while. It could be anything, whatever that difficulty is and that challenge that you're facing right now. Something that you're facing right now. It can have nothing at all to do with COVID-19. It could be any number of things that you're going through right now. So I want you to just just write it down. Just write it down. All right. So we're going to apply the resiliency plan to our current difficulty. So given the social supports that we just talked about, the strategies that we talked about, the I keep wanting to say Saga City because that's how it's spelled, sagacity, and solution-seeking behaviors that helped you the last time. Let us look about how you can do that, the same or similar resources to help you bounce back from this current difficulty that you're facing. So what things can you employ that you employed last time? What things can you do that you did last time, or that you just thought of, oh, that would be a really good idea. That would be a really good person to talk to. Write those down, your social supports, your strategies, your sagacity, which, remember, is the wisdom that we hold on to, whether it's a quote or a lyric, and you can have as many as you want. And the solution-seeking behaviors. So what behaviors did you employ? Write all of those down that you did last time or that you want to do. And remember to be flexible, in the sense that the same type of social support strategy, all of these things could be tweaked a little bit to your current situation. So you won't do exactly what you did last time, but how can you do those things or employ those things to this current situation? So if it's like a school related problem, maybe you would go talk to the counselor instead of talking to your teacher this time. Remember that you can be flexible and that you should be flexible. Resilient people are flexible. And you are all resilient. We are all resilient. You have immense power within you, immense power within you. And you can get through anything. You really can. You're doing it and you're doing beautifully. So then the next step, and we only have 2 more steps. So the next step is to carry out your resiliency plan. So put it into action. To do this, consider the order in which you use your different supports, strategies, sagacity, the solution-seeking behaviors. Which resource is most feasible to start with? Because there's really no right or wrong order that you put these in. This is all up to you. Often the most feasible resource to start with is sometimes the easiest or smallest step to take. So, for example, like calling a friend, talking to someone, sometimes talking to someone first, just to kind of process it all, process all of the things that are going on within you, to get those kind of out. So then, go through and place a number 1 and then a number 2 and then a number 3 and so on. And then put your resiliency plan in order as to how you want to deal with this current situation. The last step is to evaluate this plan. So the following. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. There it is. So when evaluate your plan. You've put your plan in place, you've started your plan, you're doing your plan. How was it for you to carry out your resilience plan? Did it help you bounce back from this difficulty? Is it helping you currently to bounce back? These are questions that you will ask yourself once you put your plan in place and taken action on it. What resources, specific skills, supports, strategies, sagacity, which were most helpful to you and why? What resources were least helpful to you and why? If you didn't use any resources, why? Any one of those resources or any resources, why? Is there anything that you'd like to add to your resiliency plan? And in what other areas of your life could you use your resiliency plan? And how might things improve for you? So the whole point is to be able to draw on the things around you to help you tap into that immense power that you have within yourself to get through a difficult situation, because you all have done it and you all can do it and you all are doing it and you're doing beautifully. I, for one, am ridiculously proud of you guys. You're doing really, really well. This current situation is not an easy one, because really it's unprecedented and nobody knows what to do. And you're doing great. You're doing great. I would love to hear about your resiliency plans. I would love to hear if you have any questions. I would love to hear how you put plans or a plan in place to help yourself through a difficult situation, because you've done it before, you can do it again, and you can do it in a really healthy way. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes to employ the next time life throws some crazy thing at you, or something happens that is difficult for us, because that's basically what life is. We go through life. A lot of it is kind of mundane: go to school, go to work, eat dinner, things like that. We have great highs, like family vacations, getting a puppy, wonderful people coming into our lives, babies being born, things like that. And we go through lows. We go through lows where we lose somebody close to us. Either they move away or they pass away, or a pet. We injure ourselves. We don't always do well at something that we're trying. And those are all difficult, but you can get through all of those. And hopefully, as you continue to move forward, you learn more about yourself and you realize what immense power you have within yourselves. So I'm going to recap this real quick because it was a lot of information. So first, we went through a past difficult time. We talked about a past difficult time, identified our support people, identified strategies, identified sagacity, identified solution-seeking behaviors, and then we described a current difficulty, something that we're going through right now, and it can be anything. Then we started to apply our resiliency plan, all of those things that we talked about, and we carry out our resiliency plan. After that, we evaluate it. We carry out our plan and we evaluate it. That was, in a nutshell, everything we covered. We did cover a lot of information. So if you have questions, you can always write those in the comments or send me an email. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go enjoy the rest of this day. Again, this series has been really wonderful. I've had a really wonderful time with all of you. I am so, so proud of all of you. You're doing beautifully. And I would love to hear from you because you are all resilient. You're all amazing. And I wish you well. And hopefully, if you live in Grays Harbor, Washington, and you are of school age, which if you're 6th or 8th, you are, hopefully I get to see you next year and we get to hang out in your classroom. Until then, I want you wow, sorry, a big bumblebee just came and smacked against my window. I think I'm losing focus, you guys. All right, until then, Sarah, your friendly neighborhood prevention specialist, is saying goodbye. Remember to be kind and wash your hands. All right, bye.